Now, the war in Iraq had to be sold a little bit differently, but under the same guise. We had to eliminate the terrorist Saddam Hussein, who had weapons of mass destruction and was about to terrorize us and our allies using those weapons. We were told that he supported Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, and we were also told that the Iraqi people needed to be liberated from this evil dictator. They couldn't sell us on the truth. And the truth was we needed their oil. So we took their oil. The first thing we secured in Iraq when we went in were the oil fields. That was the first thing we did. We also needed to establish a puppet government, and we needed to strategically place ourselves on the eastern border of Iran. Now this all makes sense. These are our oil wars. And that's what it's all about over there for all of us. Libya is just kind of the next step. We're going to go in, set up a puppet government, and take the oil. The biggest sell through all of this is making the world safe for democracy. Because so many people believe that democracy really is the answer for all the woes of the world. And many of the larger organizations like NATO and the United Nations and so forth, it's their goal to establish democratic systems all over the world. One person, one vote. And what this does is gives a false sense of empowerment to the individual. If you have a vote, you feel like you're participating in governing, when in reality you're not. I liken voting to watching a basketball game. You're rooting for your side and they're rooting for their side, and as the game goes on and the scores go high and low and you get all this excitement and all this drama that's going on until somebody wins. And if you're lucky, it's your candidate that made the basket. If not, you get to rant and rave and complain for the next 4 years until you have another chance to play the game. There is nothing about voting that has any value whatsoever. If you notice, it's about two teams on the same side. They're identical twins. The Democrats and the Republicans, they're the same thing. They are identical twins. And your voting between them really means nothing. You're voting for this twin over this twin when they represent the exact same thing. I never could understand why anybody would support any political system. Political systems have the power to take your money, your property, your children, your liberty, and your life. And entities like that are not something you get up and cheer for, as far as I'm concerned. They are entities that you watch like a hawk. They are all the same entity. And they all have the same power. And if you think voting for this guy over this guy is going to make any difference whatsoever, I think you're going to be a little bit surprised coming up here pretty soon. And a lot of people are going to get slapped down hard for this. Pensioners are going to get it. Unions are going to get it. Public employees are going to get it. Anybody that makes over a certain amount of money are going to get it. The battle lines are being drawn in this country for a huge, huge war. And the fact of the matter is that nobody is to blame. This is the way the system is structured and set up. This is the way it plays out. And pointing fingers is just jumping onto the bandwagon of what the powers that be would like you to do, so it averts attention from what's really going on and what's really happening. I heard a theory in one of my political science classes in college that the true power of any country is the bureaucracy. And at the time, I thought that was ridiculous. I thought, oh, how absurd that was. How could anybody possibly believe that? And then lately I've been understanding the theory a little bit more. If there is to be any kind of political movement in this country, it will be through the bureaucracy. It'll be the general strikes through the bureaucratic systems that will make the difference, that will turn the corner. They comprise over 50% of the population. Now, what's so ironic about all this is historically, when political systems and governments feed the people, the first that eat are the political and economic elite. The second that eat are the military. The third that eat is the bureaucracy. Everybody else after that are going to be fighting for scraps. Now, I don't want to give anybody the impression that I support revolution in any way, shape, or form. I don't. I think it's something that you avoid at all costs. You do everything you can to resolve the issues that might drive you to that long before you ever get to the point where you're that hungry. The only thing any of us have to look forward to in this country, if there is revolution, is fascism. Fascism and empty stomachs. I don't think that's going to make for a very good combination. So let's try and put that off for as long as we can. Do what we can to take on responsibilities and empower ourselves. Put in the gardens, put in herb gardens, put in water harvesting systems, unite with your neighbors and friends to establish community gardens and mutual food exchanges, and get it going now. That's how we avoid and put off what is coming our way. Until next time, for our families, our neighbors, our friends, and our communities, preservation.